A wee note before today's podcast to say Happy Mother's Day. I totally planned to record a mother-daughter combo in time for Mother's Day. I didn't, but basically my subconscious was a genius, so I decided to release a special 2 bonus episode week in honour of our mumsies. I also want to give a shout out to those who have lost their mothers or children, which no doubt makes this day very difficult. Or actually, those who can't have children. The marketing, etc., giving you constant reminders must be hard. And one of my besties just lost her mum, and I know I am beyond lucky to still have mine. Even when I'm trying to teach her how to use all aspects of her mobile phone. Though, she is a lot better than my dad. Oh my God. But anyway, here's a wee ditty for my mum, who probably won't hear it because she's only listened to one of these so far. But that's fine. I know she's supporting me in other ways. So here we go. Happy Mother's Day, Judy. You're my best mum, truly. Yes, I've only got one, so I'm lucky you're a great mum. Though I wish I'd inherited your slim feet. Seriously, Dad and I, little fat feet. Anyway, just a quick reminder, of course, that I have my Patreon. Google my name on Patreon if you'd like to regularly support this podcast. I also just signed up to a Buy Me Coffee, which is Kofi. They can't spell, but they facilitate a great thing if you just want to give like a one-off tip or something like that, because I'm not making any money doing this podcast, but that's fine because I just want to get the word out there, because yet again, I'm always astonished at how little we've been told. Anyway, enough from me. Cue that music for more of me. Hello everyone, kia ora tātou, haere mai, and welcome along to Showy Ovaries, a podcast where I, precipitously slipping down the less than slippery slope of my middle ages towards menopause, Penny Ashton, probe the pros and cons of the change and try to figure out what might happen to me when my ovaries retire and move to a little village and play lawn bowls and fend off frisky old men. A quick reminder, as always, that I am not a doctor, though I did play doctors and nurses once with the son of a family friend. And I did learn a little bit about the difference between boys and girls. But please do seek proper medical assistance from proper medical boys and girls if you think that you need it. Today is a world first. Well, for Showy Ovaries anyway. Yes, today we are bridging the generation gap. I'm also welcoming my first guest who isn't menopausal in any way because she's 22 years old. But it's my first mother-daughter combo in Carolyn Sylvester and Meg Mahy. So welcome, hooray! Yay! So how are we doing?
We're good.
Yeah. Good, because you don't live at home anymore, so I've facilitated a nice coffee with your mother. So is that good?
Yes. No, that's awesome. I'm basically still coming around to their house pretty much every day.
Every day?
That's quite good because I'm working from home at the moment, and so Meg still comes around most days.
Right.
And we hang out and talk about stuff.
If anything, I hang out now
more.
with you.
Yeah. I found that when I lived in Christchurch just for a year after when I went flatting. Yeah, I enjoyed popping home, which I've never, because I haven't lived in Christchurch since then. And so when you go home, you're there 24/7.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. It's just a lot. So popping in, that's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Good. And how are we going in these COVIDious times?
Good. COVID-free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
working from
well.
home.
Working from home, yeah.
The dog loves it.
Yeah.
I think there's been so many happy pets for the last 2.5 years, isn't there?
Yeah. A lot of new pets as well. Everyone's got new dogs and kittens. So
Yeah, right.
it's very cute.
Yeah, that's too much responsibility. Like, that's another reason I didn't want children. I am determined to never clean up anybody else's shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even notice it anymore.
I think that's because you've had children.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And pets.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Matt and I are both on the same page about that one. Not to diminish anybody's choices to bring life into this world, but but I'm thankful that you have bread so that you can pay my pension.
You're welcome.
Okie dokie. Well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the situation because there's two people to talk to. So what I've got now is I've got my two long introductions for you both. So this is an exciting time where you hear all of the work that I've done. So brace yourselves, starting with Carolyn. Carolyn Sylvester was born in 1966 and grew up like me in Otautahi, Christchurch. Attending University of Canterbury briefly, she then also went to a Kappa review in about 1993 and plucked another Christchurch girl from the stage and offered her first work as an adult, actually, in corporate entertainment for show moves and at Cleopatra's Dinner Theatre. Yes, that was me. I had worked in What Now previously. I was about a 10-year-old, but yeah, you were my first entertainment paid employment. And we sang a song. I'm going to see if you can remember the lyrics.
Good grief.
So let's try it together. I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go. Woo! Just when I ought to say nix. When a fella tries to kiss a girl, I know he ought to give his face a slap. But when someone tries to kiss me, I somehow sort of want to kiss him back. I could remember those. Aren't they terrible? When somebody tries to kiss me, I know I should slap him. But now I want to kiss him back because I'm such a slut.
Yes.
Yeah.
All those songs we used to sing were shockers.
Yeah, they really were. But anyway, back to you. After she got sick of me, she headed off to New Zealand Broadcasting School, which she graduated from in 1995. From there, she moved to Auckland and has been busy directing and shooting TV ever since. From starting at the TVNZ mothership on shows like New Zealand House and Garden, Mucking In, and Taste New Zealand, she's worked on numerous, actually hundreds of hours, thousands of hours for telly for Whānau Living, Kiwi Living, Thirsty Work, Fanimals, What Now, Pacific Beat Street, you name it, she's pointed a camera at it. And along the way, she managed to squeeze out 2 children. Oscar, who is not here due to his lack of ovaries, but we do have the delightful Meg. Now, a bit trickier getting info for Meg as your LinkedIn page does not exist. But according to Facebook, you graduated from Western Springs College. You studied fine arts at Unitec and also briefly at Whitecliff. And sadly, according to Facebook, you are widowed.
I am.
So, I'd like to pass on my condolences.
Weren't you married to
I think I'm...
3 or 4 of your
Yeah, I've
girlfriends
got
for a
multiple
while?
marriages.
You've got multiple marriages
Facebook marriages,
and
yeah.
one widowhood, so you have my condolences.
I've lived a life.
Your Facebook likes for pages include McDonald's, Shortland Street, Bunnings memes, and I didn't slap you, I high-fived your face.
I was 12. Oh my god.
Still, that's out there.
That's out there.
The
That's
stuff you
scary.
can find.
I think I need to go back
revisit
on.
that.
Revisit that.
You recently exhibited some work as part of the Eden Art Awards, and your piece was a sculpture of ceramic on fabric and pillows. It looked vaguely like a penis. Was that?
Yeah, everyone has told me that everything is very phallic.
Yeah.
That's just my subconscious, apparently.
Oh, right.
Completely unintentional.
Okay,
but,
good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And yes, you are related to Margaret Mahy.
I am.
Yes, that's right. And you used to get stories sent to you to test them out on you before they were published.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think
Like
is...
some down the back of the couch, I think.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Margaret sent through she just had done the transcript for Down the Back of the Couch.
I think I remember when that
And
arrived in
sent
your
it
house.
through, sent it through for the kids to see what they thought.
So that's very cool. Like, that's part of
cool.
New Zealand literary history.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done you. As a family, you have a fluffy dog called Tartufi. You're fans of adventurous walks, runs, mountain hikes to your Batch and Beeley Spur near Arthur's Pass, and you all like to get dressed up like hippies and dance explore. This is true.
This is true.
Welcome along, Carolyn. Yay! That was quite long.
It was.
See, Carolyn was worried I wouldn't have stuff to say, but I found stuff to say because you're very fancy.
Oh, yeah. Just not very well known.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. We
Behind
need
the
to
scenes.
celebrate people that are behind the scenes that bring that
good for you.
television. Yeah.
Good for you.
Do you like hearing all of that stuff in one place?
Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it?
Do you ever stop and think, I made all that television that everybody knows?
Well, funny you should say that, because late last year I spent quite a lot of time applying for jobs and putting CVs together on account of all my work drying up for a minute. But
yes.
and so I did look at my CV, and yeah. for the first time in a while.
Go me. Yeah, I mean, like me, I don't put CVs together because,
No.
I'm applying to myself to cast myself in a show
exactly.
that I have written, and I am giving myself the part. Okay, so I'm going to ask you both the question I've been asking everybody at the beginning, which is, what has your relationship been like with your body in your life, and what journey has it been on? Well, I will start with Meg because your journey is slightly shorter.
Yeah.
So what did you have you ever had to think about this?
For sure. I remember like being a little kid and like my body didn't matter. It was just like whether I could climb that tree or whatever.
Yeah.
And then puberty hit and hit quite hard, given that I was quite boyish, quite tomboyish. And then suddenly I had a woman's body and I was 12.
Right, yeah.
And so I was very uncomfortable with that and sort of became extremely insecure and just really hidden.
Yeah, and it was really traumatic because, you know, she went from being fit and sporty and the same as all her
That's
friends,
right.
and then suddenly
I quit all of my sports because
she quit water polo. She quit all of her sports.
Running
because she suddenly got a G cup.
When you were 12?
Yes.
Lady.
I
Good
know.
Lord.
and no one else had boobs.
No one else had boobs at all.
Oh, and then did you get sexualized because of that?
Massively. And like I would do sports and I'm focused on doing sports and just my boobs are everywhere. They're like flying everywhere and everyone's looking and it's just like completely the wrong attention that I ever wanted.
It's so shit, isn't it, when you really break that down? It's like then suddenly you get treated like this thing even though you're actually the same.
Yeah.
And you're a sexual object.
Yeah.
At 12. And I think I was a D cup by 12. So
Yeah.
it's but not quite the same. Right, okay. So and how are you now?
It changes all of the time and it changes every single week.
Right. So how did you come to terms with your womanly body? Or have you not?
I think I learnt to dress for depending on what mood I was in.
Right.
Like whether, I'm able to sort of play with it a little bit more than I used to. I'm a little bit more comfortable doing that. And also realising that this is a body that I have and it gets me places and it's not changeable. I can do things like exercise and be healthy and that sort of stuff. And that also not taking hormones has also been amazing.
Not taking hormones?
Yeah, because I was on the pill for ages and it just made my boobs just so much bigger.
Wow.
And then I stopped taking them and I just feel so much better now.
Yeah.
Like more natural, more, I don't know.
More you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the pill briefly and because of my epilepsy drugs, it was a problem. And so coming off it felt good. And then I was on Depot for quite a few years, but then coming off that also felt good. So I can relate to this. And condoms are your friend. Let's talk about that in front of your mother.
It's wonderful.
Great. And it's so funny, isn't it? Because obviously, I mean, I think you're gorgeous. You've always looked gorgeous to me. And as somebody who was quite fat in my teenage years, I would have been so jealous of you. But yet you're dealing with all of that yourself. And that's what
I
our
got
bodies
that
are.
all the time. Like everyone is extremely jealous of my body and would comment on my body and nothing to do with my personality, nothing to do with who I was or my achievements or anything. It was always like, oh, Meg with the really nice body.
Right. Yeah.
So I'd try and hide that so that people could see that I'm something else.
So nobody's ever happy with what they've got, are they?
No.
Yeah. And because of expectations from other people and and you're better now, you think.
I think so.
Yeah. Great.
I think because it's more of I'm not worried about aesthetics anymore. It's more about health.
Great. Which is
Feeling good.
yeah.
Exactly.
And that's
It
the
makes such a
most
big
important
difference.
thing. Yeah, absolutely. And being comfortable, and being healthy. Yeah. Well done, I applaud you. Excellent. And what about you?
Similar sort of story actually.
We have the same body, don't
and I think we both, like, I grew boobs and my waist got small when I was 11 or 12. And I remember being the only kid in my primary school class who had boobs and my mum used to dress me in skivvies because it was the 70s.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, you remember?
And high necks.
High necks.
And skivvies.
So skivvies.
Just a wall of tits.
Hello. And no bra. So yeah.
What? Why?
Well, I got eventually I got a trainer bra when everyone realised that actually
You would have looked like pool balls in a sock.
But then I quite liked my body once it developed. And that thing, like, again, I started taking the pill when I was maybe 16 or 17 and hated it.
Right.
Hated the way it made my body. I just felt like I wasn't me anymore.
Right, okay.
And so, yeah, I didn't take the pill. I used alternative
methods of contraception.
From
what we started about contraception.
Contraception. So, yeah, my whole life, really. Mm-hmm. Which is ironic because now, to combat my menopause, I'm back on the pill and loving it.
So you're actually on the pill.
Yeah, it's just like a normal pill, but it's giving me...
But it's HRT.
Estrogen and progesterone, I guess, and it just makes me feel like me again.
Right, I know that is. Actually, I was going to make that
weird.
point myself, but you've got there like a professional in storytelling. Yeah, that is weird, and and I was thinking, because knowing Meg that you hated the pill, you might wonder what hormones are going to do to you when you're older. But that's another good example from your mother. She sets many good examples. And so, have you what about through 20s, 30s, giving birth, 40s, 50s, 60s? No, sorry.
Yeah. I've always been like, oh, my body, sucks, whatever. But it's been good too, and I get to dance. Like, I discovered that if I'm not dancing and moving, then life's a bit shit. Right. As long as I'm dancing and...
So when do you have dance parties with yourself at home?
No, just like a contemporary dance.
Oh, so do you go to a class?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
We do that together, don't we?
Yeah, we got to go to the same class at TAPAC.
Oh, great.
And do contemporary dance together. Because Meg's really good at it.
Right.
Wow.
I went back and did a ballet class, and the reason I had to quit ballet, well, apart from puberty and tits, was, that's a big part.
Yeah, it is,
but was my knees.
Yes.
Yes. And so then I went back and did one ballet class, and my knees were killing me by the end of it.
No, I can't do ballet anymore because I've got arthritis in one knee.
Ah, right.
So contemporary's fine.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Because turning out.
As soon as you go up on your toes, so if you're on point.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah, it's like, and then you plie.
Yeah.
And you got arthritis in your knees, not good.
Right, yes. And in fact, I remember I quit ballet as well not long after my ballet teacher told me to put methylated spirits on my blisters from being on point.
I used to do that. I didn't mind that.
Oh.
See, I don't mind,
Are you into B&D as well?
No. But I'm all right with pain. I can,
Yeah. Because I was like, ouch! Just for listeners who aren't aware, it hurts like fuck.
I know.
So, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I think I might quit this. Because ballet is just kind of prolonged torture.
Yeah.
Right, okay. You enjoy dancing and just keeping active.
Yeah, and I think, what I've really noticed is that my whole sense of comfort in my body and sense of well-being is quite linked to exercising and moving my body and getting out and
moving
it.
Yeah, use it or lose it.
Exactly.
And also because camera work it's quite physical. You're schlepping some shit around.
Yeah, it can be. And I'm lugging heavy gear around some of the time. I mean, not as heavy as some of the gear that other people lug around.
Yes.
Thankfully.
Do you have what are they, grips or gaffs or dolly grippers?
No, they're not.
No. Yeah.
But the gear that I've got is it's small.
Good. Right. And what about having children? Did that was that some joyous? I mean, obviously it was joyous.
Yeah, it was great. I mean,
but do you look at your body and go,
once they were little out human beings.
Yes, that's right, because your hips tried to part from each other while they were inside, didn't they? I remember that.
I think that had a lot to do with being an undiagnosed celiac. And so when I got pregnant, all the advice was, eat so much fibre, eat bread, eat Weet-Bix, really up the fibre levels.
It's the poison in your body.
Yeah, so all my joints just went... because that's how it presents in me is rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh, right.
So, pregnancy was hard.
Yeah, you had to wear a brace to get your hips together.
Yeah, and it was really painful. I had a huge elastic bandage that went round my hips and under my belly. Being pregnant sucked.
Meg is learning of this. Yeah, right, yeah. Meg, have you not heard this before, Meg?
No, I have not heard of this before.
Yeah?
I do ask Mum occasionally about how was pregnancy, because...
Yeah.
You're sort of, I don't know.
You're in
pregnancy
there.
is something that is interesting to me.
So you want to have kids? Come back to me.
Listen, I've thought a lot about it, but I'm sure it will change as I get older.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, and one of my best friends is extremely keen to have children immediately, if possible.
Wow.
And she researches the crap out of hormones, pregnancy, the whole giving birth, everything. So we talk a lot about that, and we ask our mums quite a lot about it.
Does she have the necessary input to make a child?
Yes.
Sperm?
Yeah,
Right.
she's been with her partner for 6 years now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it's a childhood sweethearts
Yes.
situation.
It's very sweet and very cute.
Right, okay.
Yeah, they're adorable.
That's good to be so sure. Because for me, I was always like, if I meet someone and it's all they've ever wanted, then maybe.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Matthew was just as ambivalent as I. And now we high-five each other all the time. It's like, yay, we would have to be at home if we had kids now. Yay. High-five and stuff. And also because I'm epileptic, epileptics have a higher congenital birth defect rate.
Oh, really?
Weirdly. And also I have low platelets. So
my
giving
goodness.
birth would be actually quite...
Traumatic.
I could bleed out. So there's various good reasons.
Yeah.
And also I'd have to be very careful of my epilepsy medication because as I had a podcast a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, yes.
With a couple of ladies who have very disabled children because of being on their epilepsy pills. Anyway, right. Okay, good. Now, did you know anything about, obviously we know menopause periods stop, but did you know more than that, Carolyn, when...
No, I knew nothing. Zip.
And you're quite angry about it.
And no, not angry, just kind of like outraged.
Yeah.
just, I had no clue. And my mum and I were really close.
Yeah.
Like, we were really tight. And I thought, but when she was going through menopause, I was out exploring the world.
Yeah.
I moved out of home, when I was 17 or something. And I'd gone off and I was living my life. But she never mentioned it. And I never asked because I didn't know it was anything to ask about.
Yeah, well, you don't know. You don't want to, you don't ask. Right, okay. And so how did it manifest in you?
Oh, I started off, I was expecting some hot flushes. So sure enough, they came along, which was vaguely disconcerting because I was doing camera work, working a lot with kids and animals.
Right.
Which is by myself. Which is cool, like I love it. But it's really hard when you're the only one there and you're patiently waiting for a child to do a piece to camera or tell you how they're feeling about their pet or say something cute or whatever. Or the animal, is galloping towards you in slow motion. And then suddenly you have a hot flush and suddenly the sweat is dripping into your viewfinder and into your eyes and your glasses fog up so you can't see.
Sounds great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right.
That was pretty annoying.
I think we can sort of theoretically know what a hot flush is, but I haven't had one. But I feel like I can't prepare myself for actually how annoying it is.
Yeah, it's really annoying. And it's almost like when I was a little kid, I remember I would blush. Like, when you get really embarrassed and you blush and you get that
The
full body blush, and because you're really embarrassed about something. And I haven't blushed probably since I was, 7. But
beyond shame.
But I do remember feeling like a hot flush felt a bit like that.
Right.
Because it's beyond your control.
Yeah.
And it's not because you've just run up a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do anything to cool down. You can't do anything, you can't be ripping your clothes off.
No, not in front of kiddies.
Yeah.
You get arrested.
That's right.
And how long do they last?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Maybe not that long, I don't think. Long enough to fog up my glasses and fill my viewfinder with sweat.
Right.
So maybe 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And how else did...
and then, I knew that was a symptom.
Yes.
So when that happened, I was like, oh, yeah. This is me. I'm doing menopause.
Yeah.
But actually, what turned out was my blood pressure had gotten really high.
Oh.
And I've never had high blood pressure. So that was a bit of a concern. And the doctor was like, oh, we need to put you on blood pressure meds. And I'm like, why is my blood pressure suddenly high?
Yeah.
When I'm actually running a lot now and doing like more exercise. It seems a bit weird. My blood pressure got really, and I got my eczema that I had when I was a little kid. My eczema came back.
Right.
So I started getting itchy eczema patches, and I got eczema all through my scalp for the first time in my life.
Right.
And so stopped putting highlights in my hair. Like I couldn't go to the hairdresser anymore because my scalp was so inflamed and itchy and revolting. Yeah,
Right.
it's just great.
Yes.
My hair thinned right down. I got really thin hair.
Right.
And I started getting anxious.
Yeah.
Like generalized all the time anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had a little bit of anxiety, but I had it pretty handled, and nothing like this, nothing like that, just constantly feeling a bit anxious. Mm-hmm. And then I stopped sleeping at night. And that was a biggie, because one of
You're known for your sleeping.
yeah, like I'm really good at it.
Amazing. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, because I have patches of good and bad. It's usually related to me putting on a show or something, but then suddenly you just couldn't sleep.
Yeah, and like waking up all through the night and not being able to go to sleep. And yes, waking up because I was having a hot flush, so I was like really, really...
Night sweats.
I'd get, night sweats and all that kind of thing. But then being really anxious and not being able to go back to sleep, which is totally not me at all.
Yes, indeed.
And it was all just kept on going for hours and years.
Right. How long did these symptoms go on for?
Well, I was thinking it would last maybe a year. But after... Yeah, I know. See, this is how little I knew.
Yeah.
And it was just after, I think, maybe 2.5 or 3 years, I was like, you know what? Oh, and I was working with Peter Mathias, and she was like, oh my goodness, why are you not doing HRT? And
She
I'm like,
is a devotee of HRT.
and it was kind of like, so I was talking to her about it, and then I thought, you know what, I cannot function. I cannot keep doing my job and functioning the way I need to function at the moment.
Yeah.
Unless I'm just going to go to the doctor and see what they say.
It's funny that it took you that long. Was that a hangover from that WHI study about HRT causing breast cancer? And
No, it was more that I was like, I'm good with my body. Whatever changes come along, I can cope with. I've had, I'm deaf in one ear because I had a tumour cut out of my head, and there's a bunch of stuff.
I like how you missed that out in the dealing with your body.
Oh,
Also the
well,
thyroid.
and my thyroid, I had to get that got cut out, and
Right.
there's a bunch of interesting little things that go wrong with my body, and I just go, oh well, that's fine. I'll get used to that, or I'll find a way of adapting, and it'll be over soon.
That's so interesting because you got them cut out, so you could, you know what I mean? Like you actually, that was medical intervention. But
that's true.
Yes, but anyway.
But then, I hadn't thought about HRT. Maybe it was a little bit about that study.
Totally.
That had actually planted in the back of my head that it wasn't something anyone could do.
Exactly.
And it was hearing Peter say, what are you doing? Of course you need to go on HRT.
So you went to the doctor.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, we need to get your blood pressure under control first. But then the blood pressure meds didn't seem to really be working, and the dose kept going up and dose kept going up. And then so she put me on the pill anyway, and now my blood pressure's completely normal.
So it was part of a menopause. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And I haven't got a medical certificate to say that that's the truth, but my blood pressure's back to normal now.
And you don't take the blood pressure
No, I
pills?
do take the blood pressure meds,
right.
but they weren't making a difference before, and now it's fine.
Maybe it's the
and now it's like my system's kind of gotten back into the rhythm with the pill. So
Right, okay. Okay, now I'm going to do before you give away any more answers, I'm going to do my pop quiz. So this is the Meg pop quiz about menopause. So here we go. Question number 1. What is perimenopause?
That's like before the actual menopause.
Very good. So do you know what the definition of menopause is?
It's basically when you stop ovulating. isn't it?
What's when your period stops?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Isn't
Maybe you can teach me.
perimenopausal, isn't it when your periods become really sporadic and like yeah.
Yeah, it's the period where your ovaries are slowing down with
Yeah.
the production of estrogen, so it manifests in various different ways. So yeah, so the menopause is the actual end, and perimenopause is kind of what we sort of consider to be menopause, which is
Yeah.
all the changes.
Right.
Yeah, very good. I'm impressed. What is the average age of menopause?
Well, I was told at school 50, but I have talked to older women as well, and I know people who have gone through menopause at 35.
Wow.
Some people have gone through 49 or even 55.
Yeah, I think Oh, no, I was about 50 when I started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. It depends on
It's-
what their definition is.
Exactly.
Because when your period stops, which is menopause, is 52. So I'm impressed. That's what, yeah, so the perimenopause is that other stuff beforehand, which could
The
be
shit
39.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
shit part. Which of these is not a symptom of menopause? Anxiety, feeling of spiders crawling on your head, dry mouth, joint pain, electric shock sensations. Which of those is not a symptom of menopause?
Maybe electric shock. Oh, the others all sound hormonal. So I'm going to say electric shock.
It's a trick question. They're all symptoms
Yeah.
of menopause.
I was like,
Yeah,
these
she
all
was
sound
like-
like hormonal things anyway.
Yeah, they-
so-
yeah.
Including electric shocks.
Interesting.
No, and the spiders on your head, which is probably like your eczema sort
Yeah.
of thing, right? Okay. I sort of gave this away before. Where primarily is estrogen made?
Is it okay? I feel like I knew this at one point. I think, I know that your ovaries produce a large portion of your
Correct.
hormones.
Well done. Yeah, there we go. They estrogen, absolutely. Now, historically, which of these has not been suggested as a cure for menopause? Okay. Number 1, leeches on labias. And whiskers on kittens. 2, the filtered juice of guinea pigs' ovaries. 3, opium. 4, a clitorectomy, so the removal of the clitoris. And 5, golf. Which of those has not been suggested as a cure for menopause?
Oh, can I say all of the above? I'm sure.
Yes, you've cottoned onto my methods. Yes.
Yeah.
Trick question, they have all been suggested.
I've seen a lot of older ladies play golf. I'm not gonna lie. I think Grandma took up golf, didn't she?
Yeah,
And she was,
and my grandma.
yeah, and your grandma as well.
Maybe they were trying to combat menopause.
Yeah, I'd heard.
Isn't that fun? Removal of your clitoris.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Leeches on your labia would be just as bad.
Yeah. No,
Well, it
I feel
wouldn't
like
be
that
just
wouldn't
as
be as
bad.
deadly.
No,
that would not be as
I
bad.
mean,
No.
yeah.
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 Can't be.
As I have said numerous times on this podcast, imagine if men went, I'm going to try and solve something by chopping my dick off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's solve world peace by chopping their dicks off.
I think that would work. That would actually work. Right, okay, good. Okay, so your mother didn't talk to you much about menopause?
No, not at
Nothing
all.
at all. What about like periods and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, she was really good actually when I got really curious about reproduction and asked her, and she was great. She told me what I needed to know.
That's so interesting, but didn't tell you
About menopause,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, right.
Well, at that point, obviously, she wasn't going through it. And I think when she did, I don't know that her mother would have spoken to her about it. Or
Yeah, right.
even her girlfriends must have been going through it at the same time.
Mm.
But I don't know that they talked about it.
Right, and do you talk about it with your girlfriends?
Yes, I talk about it
All the time.
all the freaking time. Because, you know,
It's something to talk about.
because
It's important to talk about.
it is important to talk about. It's like, yeah.
So my next question is, obviously your mother has talked to you about it, Meg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you're aware of it at every step of the way?
I wasn't at first. It's not until I guess recently. Until you discovered that all of those symptoms were from menopause and that sort of stuff. Like at the start, I didn't know much about anything apart from you. Like, I'm having a hot flush right now. I'm like,
Were you like, what is happening to my mother? She's
you're
going crazy.
bloody sweating, Mum.
I'm quite sweaty. Sorry about that.
yeah.
And how did you did you feel that she was changing? Did you feel she was being a bit odd? Or
I mean, the anxiety thing, that was probably the most noticeable.
right?
And because you're not sleeping very often, so then you become irritable as well, and like everything, just life becomes a lot harder when you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
And that was pretty, that was kind of obvious.
And did you feel that you wanted, like, did you have empathy, do you feel, for that situation?
Oh, for sure. I don't sleep, so I very much so relate.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's nice because, teenagers, even though this is, how long has it been going on now, Carolyn?
Oh, 6 years?
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. So, you were in your late teenage years, which sometimes aren't the most empathetic.
No, I mean, but the thing is, my mum is my best friend.
Oh.
And we're very close. And,
So we talk about everything.
we talk about everything.
Right, okay, that's great.
Like
That's
literally
great.
everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
And do you remember your early puberty conversations and stuff?
Okay. We didn't talk
we
that much
didn't.
when I was going through puberty.
Why?
No, we didn't.
I think because I was so shocked by what was going on, and I felt very uncomfortable with it that I didn't even want to acknowledge it or talk about it with anyone.
And I was all about talking about it. I was
Yeah,
like,
and
hey, let's talk about it. She's
And
like,
I was
don't
like,
speak to me about it.
I don't want to verbalize it, basically, because it was
Right.
so mortifying. But,
But did you know in advance what was going to happen?
yes, I mean, we had like the puberty talks at intermediate actually, and that was
Right.
so much fun. And then it actually happened, and then it was no longer fun.
Oh, it was actually fun. I thought you were being sarcastic.
No,
Oh.
I was so excited. I got the little pan flip, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to become a woman. I'm going to be amazing. I'm going to have like this fun little period thing.
Wow.
And then I got my period, and it was terrible.
And do you have pain around your period?
I do.
Is that why you went on the pill?
It was one of the reasons, because they didn't know what.
Sexy times.
Oh, that too. Was it? Yeah.
Oh no, I had
it
terrible
was.
acne as well.
Ah, right. So it helped with that.
And that was hormonal acne as well. So
Right.
we tried that as well.
And so now that you're not on the pill, is it quite painful?
Yes, it is a lot more painful, but it's hard because when I was on the pill, everything was muted. But now that I'm off it, sure, everything is way more intense. But I really like being really in tune with my body. Like I can feel when I'm ovulating now.
Wow,
which is
right,
something
okay.
that I never did before. And like, sure, the pain is bad, but I have painkillers, and there's something I quite like being in touch.
Wow.
Like sort of taking that back
Right.
from when I was very uncomfortable with my body to now being like, fuck yeah, I ovulate. Fuck yeah, I bleed and I have pain and it's hard.
I am woman, hear me roar.
Exactly.
Right, okay. Right, fair. Right,
Yeah,
okay. And do you think, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? You don't know. Like, is your pain cured with painkillers and hot water?
Painkillers don't do very much on, like my period's very short and very intense. And on the first day, it's pretty unbearable. And I take painkillers.
So you don't think it's endometriosis or anything like that?
Well, my dad's side of the family, all of the women have endometriosis.
Oh, right.
But we thought about it.
Yeah.
And
right. Could be worth investigating.
potentially.
Yeah. I'm here to bring solutions.
I think I did talk to a doctor one time about it, and he kind of was like, everyone's got it. Oh, you're just being a pussy. And I was like,
Just like a male doctor who's got no clue.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so that completely shut down the conversation for quite a while for me.
He sounds like a treasure.
Yes.
Right, okay. Well, I mean, something to think about it because I've had quite a few ladies with endo on this. And, getting that diagnosis is quite the first hurdle. But then can be big after that. Now, some people that I have talked to said that they didn't think that young people would want to know about it, wouldn't want to learn about it, because to me, I feel like it should be something that's taught in school with the full range of symptoms and stuff. So as a young person, does it interest you? Is it just old lady stuff? Is it something that you think, oh, it's like death. It's far away. It's miles away, so I don't care. So,
I think potentially that the younger generation are sort of a little bit more curious about our bodies, especially girls.
right.
Like we are having so many more conversations, and the whole body positivity movement and all that sort of stuff. Everyone's way more curious about what happens to our bodies, and we know so much more about hormones. And so a lot of people are, like a lot of my peers are searching for information about what are these changes and all that sort of stuff. I would have loved to know more about it at
High school?
High school. Just because the only thing I was told was that your period just stops at 50.
And so then you would have had even more empathy potentially for your mother. If you'd
known.
known.
Oh, yes, if I'd known, definitely. Yeah. And because it affects everyone completely differently, like all hormones. It's just nice to know what to expect, because nothing's worse than expecting nothing and then it all going tits up.
Yep. Or wrongly attributing it to needing antidepressants. Or
Exactly.
Yes.
Or like, I have, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's interesting because you also have the benefit of so much more science than we did. But yeah, I don't think I ever stopped to think about. I did because my epilepsy meds would break down hormones quicker, so I had to take a double dosage of the pill and stuff. But I wasn't looking at it from like a holistic point of view, you know. So it's great that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, and because it's a big thing. Well, for some people it can be a really big thing, and it's mind-blowing that it's this weird taboo topic.
Exactly.
That no one ever talks about, and it's still very hard to find information on it because the people who are doing research on it and that sort of stuff are quite young, and it's not something that everyone talks about. Maybe because, I don't know, this is going to sound bad, but maybe the Gen Xers, they're not as vocal. They've sort of been brought up to like not talk about that sort of stuff as much as our generation.
Well, one thing I find quite interesting, though, I think it's now because Gen X is reaching this age.
Yes.
We're the ones who
are starting to make a noise about
it. So we're like, no. We're used to having information like you. We're not digital natives like you, but like from very early 20s, the internet came along and we've been able to find information quite easily. And then suddenly it wasn't there and we weren't told. So I don't know if that's entirely true. I feel like we're rattling
You're
the
like,
cage.
You're paving the way, definitely.
That's right. And then hopefully it's so good that you know this now. Yeah. To me, it's like I was genuinely been enraged and just like, how the fuck has this been held back? And I think it's indicative of the shame that we hold around women's bodies and particularly women's reproductive system, which is insane because we're not here without it.
Exactly.
And it's every aspect of it has been used as a bludgeon to shame women and hold them down.
And even when my mum went through it, I think the anxiety for her was a really big thing. She was always anxious, anyway. But when she did get to menopause, I know things got really bad, and she had, the family kind of referred to it as, she really just had a bit of a breakdown.
Yeah, they just said she had a breakdown.
She just had a bit of a breakdown. And clearly, her anxiety went through the roof.
Yeah.
And things were really tough at school, and she had no patience. You know how you get angry? You suddenly, that sort of mellow hormonal kind of chillness is gone. Yeah. And you're just generally just really angry.
So she was a teacher?
Yeah, she was a primary school teacher.
Children can be very annoying.
Well, it wasn't the kids, it was the
teachers.
Yes, it was the hierarchy at the time.
Yeah, right.
Which she'd traditionally been extremely good at working within, and she was like on the board of trustees, and she was
did she quit?
Yeah,
so the amount of women that have left the workforce unnecessarily is
totally
enraging as well.
And she was an amazing teacher. She taught so many kids to read who wouldn't otherwise be reading.
Yeah. Right.
She was, really great at it. And, she had this breakdown and...
Yep.
Yeah.
And which is interesting because HRT was actually massive in like the 60s and 70s. So that was never...
No. Yeah. So that was...
Well, I know it was one of the most prescribed drugs in America at certain points until that study came out.
Until that study.
Yeah.
Which would have been about that time, I think, because that was...
Well, that
late
study...
80s?
No, the study results actually came out in the 90s. But yeah, so it sort of... It robbed a couple of generations of women of...
comfort.
And
the thing about the blood pressure that, sorry, just flipping off back to that again.
That's right.
That really, because Mum ended up having a massive stroke because she had really high blood pressure.
Oh.
And it's like, so if she'd gone on HRT, not only would she have been able to keep working happily.
Yeah.
I mean, as it was, she retrained as a spelled teacher and took on doing specific learning difficulties and that kind of thing, which was great. But still, it was horrible for her. It was a horrible time. And at no point did anyone say it had anything to do with menopause.
Wow. Did you think she ever put that together?
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Because other people I've spoken to about it have been like, yeah, my period just stopped. Like they literally just, that's it. That's it. Their period stopped and they had nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a couple of those on the podcast. And it's funny how they get very apologetic.
Yeah. Well, so they should.
Yeah. Though I think then sometimes when I've asked them questions, I've gone, oh, maybe that was that, you know? Like,
yeah.
And the thing too is that so many of these things could be attributed to other things. And
Yeah.
it's that trial and error, which is so annoying.
Yeah.
But it's great that you that pill just pretty much works straight for you straight away.
It took a wee while to kick in.
And to get the levels right?
No, it's just pretty. It felt like it just took a while for my body to get back into the rhythm, and maybe for the hormones to come up. I don't know the science. I need to go back to the doctor and talk to them about the science of it. But
how long do you think you want to stay on it for?
well, see, that's the other thing, because I've been talking to some friends, older ladies. And one of them was told by her doctor that she had to come off HRT after 10 years.
Yeah, that's not true.
And no. And so she did.
Oh.
And she's like, she's so enraged about it. She's so angry because it was really helping her. And then she came off it. And now she can't go back on. It's too late.
No, you can.
Well, it's some kind of like,
There's
it was
this-
really complex or something.
There's this, my mother just started it.
Oh.
And she's 75.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so look into that further. There is one school of thought that says if you take it within after 10 years of your last period, there can be higher risks, but research it. Also, Dr. Louise Newsom, her website has some really good stuff about that. And my mother's doctor prescribed her for it. So, there is this sort of strokes and some, but also my mum she's had a hysterectomy.
Right.
So I think there's more risks if you have your womb still.
Oh, okay.
But it is worth looking into because that's not necessarily true. Yeah, and like Peter Mathias has been on it. She's,
Donkeys.
73?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway. And that is a perfect example of a doctor I get angry because I feel that they haven't researched properly, but, they're only as good as the last research that's available.
And what they know. And like my doctor, who I actually really love. I love her style. She's straight up. There's none of, she's not trying to mollycoddle anyone. I love her.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, can I go on? She's like, yeah, sure, we'll try this. And she put me on it and that's fine. And I went back for a checkup and she's like, has it made a difference? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Like for a start, I'm sleeping. Like straight away that happened.
Wow.
I just went back to I went back to my old sleep patterns. I don't feel super anxious and angry anymore. I can, I still get occasional little mini hot flushes, but nothing much. And they're gone now. And I just feel so much better. And my eczema's gone, so that's great. I'm not itchy anymore.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah,
you can sleep and you're not itching all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
what'd she say?
And she was like, oh, maybe I should look at it.
Oh my God. And she's like, what?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And she was like, oh, wow. Oh, okay, maybe I should look at that.
Well, I mean,
I was gobsmacked.
yeah, really. It's good that she's open to it.
Yeah.
Right, now I have another pop quiz that I'm going to do now. This is for you, Carolyn.
Oh.
This is a youth pop quiz.
Oh.
That hopefully I know what I'm doing. So question number 1, what is the TikTok?
The TikTok!
Oh my God. My mum's right into it.
I love TikTok.
Yeah.
Our dog's got a TikTok page.
Really?
Yes.
Hilarious.
I know.
What does Tartufi do on TikTok?
Well, the last thing she did on TikTok was ate a piece of watermelon using her little front teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
She went crunch, crunch, crunch.
See, I don't know. So, Matt said that what TikTok is like watching a headache.
Yeah. Oh. It depends which bit of TikTok you end up on, I think.
That's true.
It's its own world.
Okay, another question. What does PIV mean?
PIV?
Do you know this? Meg doesn't know this? No?
I don't know.
See, this is funny. I'm like, this is youth lingo, but maybe it's not. Yeah, PIV means penis in vagina.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah. As opposed to...
I can see it written down.
I guess
Penis and tree.
PIA.
Oh,
PIA, I'm not interested in.
No.
Who are BTS?
what? Behind the scenes? Bitches that... What could it be?
Oh my god.
They are a Korean boy band.
Oh.
But they're massive. The Bangtan Boys.
The Bangtan Boys.
Yeah, also known as, there you go,
BTS.
BTS. And finally, because I'm not young enough to have more questions, what does this sentence mean? My mum is the OG of our fam. We had a party and it was totally lit. I was throwing shade at Bob because he was too thirsty for my babe. It's a bit long.
My mum is like the OG, the original gangster
of the fam.
Of the family, and the party was really good. It was going off.
Yes, it was totally lit.
And
I was throwing shade at Bob.
You were throwing shade at Bob? You were hating on Bob?
Because
Bob was too horny, and all he wanted was just to
my babe
hook up with your best friend.
Yeah. Well done. You're an honorary young lady. Look at that.
But you're probably like, that's not even. We used that. We used all those words like 10 years ago.
Was there anything else that you thought that you might want to talk to around menopause, both of you?
I think it's all just part of your body's journey, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you just want to be in full possession of the facts.
Exactly.
Right, okay. Oh, well, thank you very much for your time, my first mother-daughter combo. Did you learn things about each other today?
No, I think we pretty much knew most of that stuff, did we?
I think so.
Just about giving birth and her pelvis falling apart.
Yeah,
that's
the
right.
whole
Yeah,
getting
that's
held together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty sore.
Yeah. And was that with Meg? Because I wasn't around for Oscar, so that was with Meg. So
yeah, it must have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was Oscar's as bad?
Yep.
And did you ever want more kids, or was that like?
No, I think because being pregnant wasn't so much fun, so we were like, two's good. And we had them really close together, and I knew because it was so disruptive, I couldn't really function
at all
in my life,
Yeah.
not normally, so we just
Like,
had
had
them real
babies.
close together.
Yeah,
Right,
all
okay.
together.
That's box ticked. Or,
Box ticked.
they're there.
That's another word for PIV. And on that note, thanks very much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So that was the fabulous best friends, Carolyn and Meg. I thought that was a sweet moment, but it kind of breaks my heart to hear how traumatizing it was for Meg to hit puberty. Can we please stop sexualizing children? And it's so interesting too, given that's all I wanted was a body like that, and then she couldn't. Let's stop carrying shame, people. But anyway, a reminder, I have some shows coming up. Olive Copperbottom at Q in May. We're actually adding a show because I'm pretty sure it's going to fill up. So that's exciting. And that will be the first public show I've done since July. Also, Promise and Promiscuity in Belmont in Auckland in June. Olive Copperbottom in Waihi in June. Olive in New Plymouth in July. And then in Palmy and Welly in October and November. Maybe. I just always like to add maybe in this day and age. You can head to my website, hotpink.co.nz, if you want to find out some more information. In the meantime, tomorrow we're having another mum, a former star of Good Morning, current star, Asta. A-star, Asta. Till then, ka kite. Stay Jose.